When you join two tables, how do you find the missing records? There might be some records missing from the left table or the right table. How do you do that? So we use anti-join using dplyr library. Let's get started. Let's call our packages or libraries. So I'll be using dplyr and gt. And let's create some sample data sets. I'm going to create some data sets from scratch. So the first one would be the admissions data set, which has the patient names and the age for the patients. And I'm using the patient name as the key. And then if you view that, this is what it looks like on the screen. And now to create the second data set would be a billing data set, which will contain the billing amounts for the patients. Now there could be some cases where there has been admissions but no billing done, and there could be some cases where you have actually billed the person but the person doesn't exist in the admission. So we'll try to find these missing records using anti-join. So let's view this billing data set or data frame. Here we go. We have some names and some amounts. Before we start into anti-join, let's do a full join to understand the complete matched data. So I'll join the data using the full join command from dplyr and joining the admissions and the billing data set. In the admissions, we have name as the key, and in the billing, we have client as the key. So if I join it together, you can see that we have all the data, and you can see some NAs there. So for example, we can see it much clearer in this case. We have actually been able to find a match in the table. You can see that these three records have found a match, and these three records don't exist in the billing table. And on the billing, you have two records which don't match the admissions. So here is the first attempt on anti-join. I'm using the anti-join using admissions and billing data set. And there is another variation of that. You can use the same command using the pipe operator. So in the first one, we have anti-join. Admissions is the first data set. Billing is the second one. And in the admissions, we have name as the key. And in the billing, we have client as the key. And similarly, in the second syntax, using the pipe operator, I'm saying admissions, and I'm piping this to dplyr anti-join and saying the billing table. So the first table is admissions, the second one is billing. Admissions has the name as the key, billing has client as the key. So let's run it, and you would see that both syntaxes would give us the same result. You can use whatever you want. I prefer to use the pipe operator because you can build more complex queries in that. So let's revisit this screen again. You can see that these three records in the first table didn't have a match in the second one. This is what the output is. So the first table is the admissions table, and we are trying to find the missing records in the admissions table which don't have a match in the billing. So the order of the tables are important. The first one is your reference. Now let's change the order and see how it works. And in this case, I'm going to say exactly the same thing, but we'll just change the order of the table. So in this one, I'm calling it as anti-1. So this is exactly the same what we did before, admissions and billing. That's fine. We have the same result. But in the next one, I'm going to, so you can see that it's the same result which we got. And in the second one, I'm going to just reverse the names of the tables. So I'll call that as d-anti-join2. And you can see that the billing is the first table now instead of admissions. And we'll have to change the keys also because the client belongs to billing and the name belongs to admission. So if we see the output, now you see only these two records. And if we go, so these records are missing in the billing table. As you can see in this screen again, you had those two records which didn't have a match in admissions. So we are referring, or we are giving billing as the reference. The first table is the one which is kind of a reference in this. So I hope you found this information useful and practical. Thank you very much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.